Starting the final month of one of the most chaotic years the business has ever seen, Raw with no main event announced on either brand 2 weeks to the pay-per-view was set to book the title match on the Raw side with Triple H vs Vanam for the title shot against Michaels at Armageddon in Hunter's first match back since the injury at Survivor Series. Seeing the broadcast coming days after the latest quarterly business report led to another round of major media outlets noticing the company's decline from the peak over the past year, including another CNN news report and a cover story from the Associated Press, noting the company, despite still being a commercial empire worldwide, stronger than almost any other period in history, taking a significant hit in viewership and in the stock price over the past year, with Raw and SmackDown dropping approximately 14% in the current TV season, with Vince McMahon responding to the story saying that at the moment they don't give the audience everything it wants to see, but it's only a matter of time before business goes through the roof again, noting the development of new stars and massive influx of star power expected to start the new year, with Hogan, Rock and Austin all targeted to return in time for WrestleMania 19, with the company, besides the business boost expected for the TV returns of the top 3 names in the industry, also already getting more positive news for 2003, with Raw's upcoming tour of Japan selling out instantly with over 30,000 tickets. Continuing the company's strategy of running more overseas tours to offset the domestic drop, with the massive international business showing no signs of slowing down after successful tours in Australia, Europe and India in the past 4 months. Opening the first Raw of December slower than usual, with the first half hour featuring a Dudleys vs 3-minute warning tag match which included a post-match Jericho and Christian angle along with Hunter and Flair arriving to the building, and the start of a Trish vs Ivory match, averaging a 3.1 rating with 4.3 million viewers. After the stagnant opening 30 minutes, Raw started its usual first hour climb at 9:30 p.m. with a 300,000 viewers jump in the third quarter, featuring Jericho and Christian's reaction to last Monday's towels angle and the Dudleys beatdown minutes earlier, followed by Hardy and Dreamer vs Storm and Regal going 3 minutes. And with Vince and Linda McMahon in recent days both talking about the company's process of creating new major players in the near future, along with JR in the latest Ross report saying that more talent are going to get opportunities to move up the card, while predicting 2003 to be a breakout year for several new names, with the target going back over 2 years being that both Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton are the almost guaranteed next in line to be elevated to top names. And with Orton out with long-term shoulder injury until the start of next year, the opportunity moved to the next in line, with the Dave Batista push going to the next level, with him officially paired with Ric Flair, with Flair now set up as his mouthpiece, giving some background on Batista growing up before a quick squash against Hurricane minutes later, setting up Batista's first major pay-per-view match against Kane to close the first hour with 4.6 million viewers, followed by Michaels and Vandam's follow-up comments for their main event title match last Monday, with Bischoff upping the stakes by booking Michaels to be the guest referee in the Vanam vs Hunter #1 contender match in the next hour. Booker T opened Raw's second hour in front of an hometown crowd in Houston, Texas for the second top promoted match of the night against Chris Jericho, with Booker after a week out with him unable to perform due to dehydration following the return from India, returning after being stretchered out of the building in Charleston last Monday shortly before Raw went on the air, to lead to last-minute changes for the majority of the Raw script, with him and Goldust originally set up for a match in multiple segments against Jericho and Christian, with the Dudleys taking their place, seeing Jericho vs Booker going 8 minutes to bump the top of the hour quarter to a show high of a 3.5 rating with over 4.8 million viewers. ending up in a non-finish to set up a following tag match going back-to-back with Morley booking the originally planned opening match from last Monday with Booker and Goldust vs Jericho and Christian for the tag titles going another 7 minutes in an over 25-minute block for both matches between 10 to 10:30 p.m. A week after closing his court case to officially start to publicly set his TV return, including JR and Linda McMahon all but confirming the comeback being imminent, with the latest target date set for the 10th anniversary Raw special in early January. Steve Austin, after seeing almost every mention of him being scrapped from the company website just weeks earlier, was starting to be established back to the TV audience, including an appearance on the night with another flashback moment building the Raw anniversary featuring the McMahon Corvette segment from October '98, with Austin facing a unique situation if returning to work, with one of the verdicts in the court case seeing the judge as part of the one-year probation also prohibiting Austin from drinking for a year, but due to the unique circumstances potentially allowing Austin's post-match drinking routine, as it will be considered part of his plain TV persona, to create a potentially unique scenario over the next year of Austin only being allowed to drink on the job, with Raw next seeing Scott Steiner coming out unannounced, taking out Richards and Victoria, with Steiner's official brand yet to be known, with him advertised for house show appearances on both the Raw and SmackDown brands, including his first match back in the company in a decade set for the SmackDown show this Saturday, seeing the Steiner recruitment continuing, with Eric Bischoff trying to lure him to Raw with Stephanie waiting in the limousine outside the building, with this segment despite only going 6 minutes over the 10:30 p.m. quarter, which is usually one of the consistent viewership down times of the night, picking it up to over 4.7 million viewers, with Steiner continuing to be a consistent TV difference maker whenever placed on the show, also leading to Raw for the first time in a month having a positive viewing pattern, with the second hour with 4.7 million outdrawing the first in total viewer. Minutes after the Steiner segment reversed the recent usual second-hour viewership slide, Raw picked up further in the final quarter, featuring the entrances and first few minutes of the Triple H vs Van Dam main event, with Hunter after escaping a serious neck injury with Van Dam's knee hitting him directly at Survivor Series, returning to the ring for the first time since the Garden on November 17, with Hunter in an interview following the match making it clear publicly that there's no heat between him and Van Dam, with the injury being a consequence of a high-risk move in a new cage structure, going 7 minutes in the main event, with Raw after the past 2 weeks of taking 2 of the shortest overruns since it became a permanent weekly routine in June '98, coming off the 5-year low rating on November 11. Returning to its scheduled time, with Van Dam vs Triple H going 6 minutes past 11 p.m. to peak the night with 5.3 million viewers, seeing the unusual dynamic in the match, with referee Michaels working in favor of the babyface Van Dam against the heel Hunter, ending with Triple H going over anyway to put the final stamp on Van Dam's chance as a full-time main event player going forward for the foreseeable future, with the finish playing off the memorable SummerSlam '97 finish of Michaels counting the fall for Bret Hart against Taker and the start of the build to their Survivor Series match in Montreal, setting up the second Michaels vs Hunter pay-per-view singles match at Armageddon in 13 days.